Alright, here's how we're setting up tool table, tool touch off, etc. on Linuxcnc gang tool lathe. First thing you're going to do is decide which tool you're going to use as your reference tool. In this case we used this one, but in all honesty it's better off if you can use a different tool that you're going to actually face the front of the part with. This tool was the one we used to face this part, but in this case we had already used this one previously, so we're going to use this grooving tool as our reference tool. So you're going to start by going in your MDI and you're going to set that tool as your current tool, and it shows your current tool down here. So when I T1M6 go, it's going to move. Now tool 1 is the current tool, and its length offset, its length and diameter offsets are applied, as can be seen down here. And you're going to go to your tool table, and for tool 1 you're just going to set your X and your Z both 0, which in this case they're 0, it just doesn't display them. And then you're going to go back to your manual control and you're going to do your touch off. But in order to do that, you're going to come to your part, you're going to, let's say it's stock in this case, and you're going to touch it and you're going to make a cut, and you're going to leave the tool at that Z value, and then you're going to go here to touch off, and then whatever length, whatever work coordinate system you're going to go with, which is usually going to be G54, you're going to select that, and then that's going to be your Z0, and you're going to hit OK. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to manually jog over, you're going to make a cut on the turning cut, you know, whatever you need, 200 thousandths, whatever, to grab onto with your mic or your calipers or whatever. You're going to make a cut, and you're going to just move the tool out in Z and leave it at the same X value, and then you're going to measure that cut, that diameter that you have, whatever that is. You're going to touch off again. You're going to make sure you're on X in this case, and you're going to touch off again. You're going to select your G54, and then you're going to enter that value that you measured off of that cut, and you're going to press OK. Now you have your work coordinate system set up so that the control knows where the face of the part is and where the diameter is. And the values for your reference tool are going to stay 0 in the tool table, because you're not going to use tool touch off with your reference tool. And then from there, you're going to go to your next tool, tool 2. You can come over and you can use a gauge block, piece of carbide, whatever, paper, or you can just bring it over and you can just touch, have this turning, and you can just touch that until you see it touching, and then maybe back it off 1,000th, and that's your Z value. You leave that tool where it was at, then you come over here. I made a mistake. Before you do that, you got to come over here to your MDI, and you got to instate tool 2. Tool 2's offsets. You're going to go T2M6. You're going to hit go. You're going to see that tool 2 is the current tool, and then you're going to go and touch off on your Z face, your Z0 that you cut with the previous tool, with the reference tool. And when you get that to Z0, then you're going to do a tool touch off. Tool touch off, and see, I got it in X right here. You got to make sure you got it in Z. Go to Z, tool touch off. Make sure you have tool 2 here, and that's Z0. Enter 0 and press OK. And then you're going to do the same thing with the X. You can either just bring it over and touch it until you can see that it's touching, or you can actually make a cut and measure it. Either one. And then you're going to take that value, you're going to go X, and you're going to tool touch off, and then you're going to enter that diameter. The important thing to note is this tool, and this tool are all on the negative X side of the spindle, or the negative X. They're coming in and doing their work on the negative side, negative X side of the spindle. So the diameter value that you enter here has to be a negative number. And once you do that, then you'll see these numbers down here change, and you should be good to go. And then you just continue on with all the rest of your tools. Setting drill bits is a little bit different, but I'm not going to get into that. At that point, you should be good to go. And then obviously you can adjust them accordingly if you need to, you know, size a bore or whatever. But basically what those values in the tool table are, and here they are right here, what they are is this X value is basically the distance between the tip of your reference tool and the tool in question. So that 1.2 is the distance between the tip of this tool and the tip of this tool. If I measure those, it would be 1.209 whatever. And then for this tool, it's the distance from the tip of this tool to the tip of this insert, and etc. And then the Z values are just because these tools, I basically just eyeballed them all in line, because this gang tool setup, you can't really have tools longer and shorter than each other, because they'll start hitting the spindle housing. But they're just slightly different, and that value is the difference between the face of this tool and the face of these other tools. And then you've got to deal with your orientation, which I'm not even sure if this is working correctly, but there's a table you can look up. Just look up Linuxcnc tool orientation chart, and it'll give you a little diagram. And basically 2 is like, should be down in this direction, and 3 is up here. I could be mistaken on that. 2 might be here, and then 3. Anyway, just look it up, put the values in here that make sense, and you should be good to go.